Welcome back to Inspired or Acquired. This is the podcast where we interview real business owners, talk real numbers, and ask them whether or not they would sell their business. We have a really interesting episode today. Tim Ryan is joining us from Austin, Texas. You're going to hear more of his story, but he's sold a few service businesses and he's scaling a software business, Symbri, in the pool services space. So excited to dig in with him. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Clint Fiore. He is the mergers and acquisitions specialist out of Texas as well. So, Tim, how are you, man? It's good to see you.
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on. So if people don't know your story, tell us, the 1 or 2 minute of like how you got to where you are now and what your business looks like these days.
Okay. Just a pool cleaner, man. Let's see. I was in the military, did never go to college. Got out of the military, kind of putted around for 2 years, tried going to college, didn't work. Ended up, I was working at Panda Express, which sucked. Decided I wanted a job where I didn't have to talk to people and I could just listen to books all day. Talk to everybody coming through the line. Guy came through, he said he's a pool cleaner. I was like, what's that mean? He's like, I just listen to music, man. And I was like, there we go. I got a job at a pool cleaning company as a repair technician because I had some experience from the Navy in like technician work. And then I just went around and did filter cleans for like a year. No. I was only there for 6 months. I would just drove around for like 6 months doing filter cleans, which is the most basic thing you can ever do. Ran the numbers in my head and I was like, I bet I could do this. Moved back to where I'm at now. Got a job at a moving company for like $18 an hour and just told them, hey, I can't work on Friday. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then I built up the pool route on Friday, asked off on Thursday, took Thursday off, like built up one on Thursday. And then, once I had Wednesday filled up, I switched to full time over to the pool cleaning company. By 2019, we had 200 clients. It was like $40K a month in revenue. I was in pretty bad debt and super burnt out. I made every mistake you can make. It was so freaking rough. Like I didn't even know my first pool that I got picked. My first account that I picked up was green. I didn't know how to degreen a pool. I was like in the backyard, like YouTubing it. So I just wasted a tremendous amount of money and time not knowing what I was doing. I thought the pool cleaning business was like a terrible business. I got a offer from a customer there's a company in Austin called ABC Pest and Lawn. They actually reached out and offered to like buy us, and they did due diligence for like 3 months. Ended up offering us like $500,000 for that company. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. The guy I talked to talked it up, and then the day they were supposed to sign, they backed out, which was like crushing. That's what like put the bug in my head of like, I should just sell this thing. And me and my wife had done the thing where you imagine having the money before you actually have it. You know what I mean? So like we were like, we're gonna do this. And then when they backed out, it was pretty crushing because my stress just like went through the roof. I remember I stopped at a convenience store, bought a pack of cigarettes, and sat on a stump behind there, and I set a 15-minute timer to pout. I just got up and kept three pulls. And then I was friends with a guy in the industry, and he was like, dude, I'll buy you. And he did. I did an owner finance deal with him, and he ended up paying us like $60K a year until he paid it off, and it worked out really great. Pitched to my wife, hey, we should start a software company. Built because the software at the time was real trash. A lot of competitors have popped up since then. I took a year off, taught myself how to code. We went to Europe for 3 months. Came back. I tried. I kind of decided I couldn't build the product myself. It's like if you build houses for a year, like interns building houses, and then at the end of it, they're like, hey, so you want to build this like giant neighborhood and you be in charge of it where a bunch of people are going to live and invest money? You'd kind of be like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should do that. So I started looking for a programmer to team up with us on equity, or I tried to get investors. So I spent like a little bit of time trying to do that. Couldn't get any bites on an idea. And then kind of we were kind of like, well, how do we make money? And it's like, well, we could just build another pool company and sell it. And that's what we did. It took us 4 years to get to 200 accounts. We got to 250 accounts in 2 years. That next time, and then we flipped it and then used that money and invested almost all of it into the software. And then I think a year went by and we were kind of like, it was taking a lot longer than we thought. I actually lost a lot of money in like hiring software engineers and then them sucking and then me having to fire them a couple months later after I would look at their code come in and I'd be like, I don't think you're very good, man. And get rid of them. And then we built a really small pool care company, like 75 accounts. It was bringing like, I'd have to do the math. It was helping with cash flow essentially. And for us, and so me and her just would like clean pools like for a couple hours a day. Cause when you have two people, it goes fast. And then we go play tennis and it was easy. And then in 2023, we realized we were going to run out of money. I was like, I think we're going to run out of money in December. And then I was like, so that means we're probably going to run out in November. And we were kind of like, what are we going to do? And it's just kind of like, I guess we'll do what we know how to do. I guess we'll just build another pool care company. And so in February, we sold the 75 pools to somebody else for $100K. They actually gypped us $36K. I wouldn't say their name, but they owe us $36,000.
Pay up if you're listening.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's really annoying to not get $36K that's owed to you.
Yeah.
And then the guy we owner financed to, we actually did another owner financing deal with him and he almost went out of business. He ended up paying us off in cash by reselling our pools to somebody else that same year. So like we were just looking at things being like, oh my God, like our money's going to stop coming in. We're not going to have any. So in January, we sold that 75 pools for about $100K. And we were like, we'll use this to build another pool care company bigger and faster than we've ever done it before. And we'll do it. And that'll just be like what cash flows the software company. Like that's all we cared about was the software company. And then, so it took us, it's kind of mind blowing. We got to 300 accounts. So like 65K in revenue in about 5 months is about what it took us. And then, we still had, and that would have been a fantastic business, but the problem is we were paying for a software company. So like it was eating all our profits. So we couldn't even pay down debt or like, it was a pretty rough spot. And then a roll-up rolled into town and they heard what we did, how we did it. They were kind of blown away by the speed. They'd never heard that before. And then they were like, they offered us a 17 times revenue for the pool company and we took it. And yeah. So now we're doing software.
17 times the monthly revenue?
Yeah. I know. I saw that number and I was like, no way. I was like, we can't turn this down. I've never seen a multiple like that on a pool care company. It's usually like 8 to 10. So
much to talk about.
That was like $1 million or a little more or somewhere in there.
1.15.
Yeah.
We got. Yeah.
Okay. So you stood that up and how long before you did it? That was a 6-month growth.
That was like a year it took us to make. If you really think about it, we made 1.5 million profit in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a decent year, man.
I know.
So this begs the question. So it sounds like you're obsessed with a software company.
Yes.
My head goes like, dude, you already know how to do something that people want and need.
If I could go back in time, Clint, I would just keep that first pool care company, just grow the fuck out of it.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's making you keep selling these things? Because what I know as an M&A guy is multiples go up as the size goes up.
Yes.
And I feel like you keep cutting your legs off by selling them when they're small.
Because I don't want to be a pool cleaner. That's like really what it comes down to. Like, I don't like this industry. I don't like the job. Like, it's so much work.
So when you got it up to like 65K a month, it was still just you and your wife, like servicing all the pools?
No, we had a crew. We had like 6, 7 guys. But it's still like, look, this is what I figured out. One, every time when I sold the first time, I didn't know what I was doing. Right. The business was really hard. I made so many improvements on that second company. And when we sold the second time, we sold to the same guy we owner finance to, which was a phenomenal. It was great, dude. When we sold the first time, we just started getting 5K checks every month, essentially like a retirement check. And it was just rolling in. And that was supposed to last like 10 years, and we thought that was great. Like, why wouldn't you just get 5K a month for we lived in an RV. It was plenty. And then, so we did the same deal. We repeated that deal and we were getting 16K a month, just rolling in. That's it. He was running the business and us 16K a month checks. And, that was around right after COVID. So basically like there was a point where people's businesses started, I don't know, there's like a rough month there where people started kind of like struggling and, he started struggling. And so the only reason we sold is because that first deal was so good. Like, it's like, I would rather not do anything and make money than be running to make money.
What were the things you got so much better at? Sales and marketing?
Marketing, I got better at. How to pick up customers, I got better at. Operations, I feel on this fourth company, our operations were so fucking good. Like in terms of just how ruthless we were in terms of operations. Like we built our whole hiring process around firing people. That's something like a first year business person would never think to do, Like we literally sat down and listed all the reasons we should fire somebody. And we were hiring 5 people to find one good person and just cycling people out as fast as we could to find like a killer is really what we were doing. And like just stuff like that just makes you like, it makes such a huge difference on the business.
Hey guys, wanted to take a quick break from the show just to tell you about our companies for a second. I'm Patrick Dichter and I own Apple Tree Business Services. We do quality accounting and tax nationwide. So if you're running a business or looking to buy a business, we'd love to help you out with accounting and tax services. You can find us at appletreebusiness.com. And Clint, tell us about Bison Business.
Yeah, Bison Business is my firm. We do nationwide M&A. So we help people buy and sell companies. Most of our customers have companies in the 1 to 20 million revenue range, profitable businesses. So if you've got one and you're ready to get acquired, you can reach out to us at bisonbusiness.com for a complimentary evaluation. We can get you to market and get you sold. If you're a listener that's a buyer that wants to buy a company that size, make sure you're on our email list because we'll send you out deals first before they hit the market anywhere else. But we'd love to serve you anytime you're thinking of acquiring or selling your business. We want to be your first stop at Bison Business.
Awesome. Now back to the show.
What was your secret to the fast growth on that most recent one?
Oh, let me tell the whole world. No, I can't tell like exactly how we did it because it's kind of like a thing it's in my back pocket,
Digital or non-digital?
It was digital.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll play 20 questions with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a way, secret sauce.
Yeah.
Using digital strategy that you can grow a pool service company faster than anyone.
Yeah. It might be the best thing I've figured out in my entire life.
It's so funny you say that of like you get better each time. I looked at an accounting firm for sale recently and it was like more expensive than I can afford, but it was like legitimately the best accounting firm I've seen come up for sale. Mm-hmm. And in my head, it was like, if I were to start over from scratch, that's what I would do in terms of like how they niched, how they productized, like how they ran the team. And their margins were absurd. But for me to try to like totally pivot to that now, I can't.
Yeah. But, I had a tweet about this, about how like, yeah, I kind of regret selling my first company, but also like, I think I might be one of the best operators in Texas, and maybe even America. At least me and my wife together as a team, we complement each other very well. But if we would have it's like if you built a house 4 times, just to use this house metaphor again, if you built a house 4 times, your first house would have like a lot of mistakes that your second house wouldn't have. And then your third house would also not have the mistakes your second house had. And then by the time you built the 4th house, like it would be built out of all the learned mistakes from all the previous houses. So like you kind of just like, I would get these like 1 to 2 year breaks to just kind of think about like how I would do things,
Yeah, makes sense. So let's talk about the software business. Give us like, what does it do? How do you price it? How is it going now?
It helps you. It's essentially the software I wish I had when I was running a pool care company, right? And it does what most field service softwares do. Jobber, I don't know. You guys sell businesses, like there's a shit ton of them out there. There's Service Fusion and Service Titan.
So it'll invoice customers, help with like dispatching, stuff like that. Tell us some of the features. Yeah,
the whole idea is dispatching, sending customers reports, takes care of all your customer communication. You can like text customers through it and stuff like that. We're building invoicing this year. It's the only thing it doesn't have.
Nice.
What it does, the thing that I wanted that was the most important, is it automatically communicates with customers. So all the customers get an app to download on their phone. And it makes like you could be, have 3 customers and just be starting out, and your service will feel like Uber. You could have 1,000 customers and your service will feel like Uber. Like you can see how far away the pool cleaner is. You can message that pool cleaner. You can see all your upcoming stops. You update your own account information. It's really slick.
Dude, the company that treats our grass for ticks and like helps with the green grass, they have something like that, and it makes it feel like amazing as a homeowner,
Yeah.
There's like a report that I know isn't customized, but kind of looks customized. And there's like the text name and like when they're coming and like it definitely makes the
Makes a
customer
difference.
experience feel great.
Yeah.
And what do you charge?
For a guy in just a guy in a truck, it's $79, and anybody bigger than that up to 10 pool cleaners, it's $279.
Sorry, give me the price point on solo.
Solo $79.
79. Okay, so 79 to 279 a month is kind of the rate. Got it.
How's it going? Like, how's the revenue looking? How's the trend looking?
It's good. We picked up. We have $1,000. I think. Yeah, we have 5 companies using us. We have about $1,000 a month coming in. We started selling at the beginning of January, and then we kind of pulled the brakes because we were kind of squashing bugs. Like we found a lot. We signed up a bigger company, and then they had a lot of bugs and issues, so we kind of like paused, and we're ironing all those out, and then we'll hit it hard again.
So it's $1,000 a month.
Mhm.
So it's still like baby mode, starting to get traction. You like it. You've used it with your companies. You're going to add invoicing to it. So okay, I've got kind of 2 questions. Like you've been trying the software thing for years.
Mm-hmm.
You've got these other 2 things you have superpowers on. Like, are you just stubborn or something? Like why do you keep going back to the well on like building a software company when you've proven you can either build pool service companies, or now that you've got this bag of tricks of knowing how to grow through digital methods, you could launch hire me to help you grow your service company offer that is like Alex Hormozy's gym launch type of thing, where he made tens of millions of dollars, and you could get every pool service company in the country to hire you to blow up their customer list, and you get like a piece of the action, and that scales really beautifully, and you make millions of dollars way faster. Like, why aren't you doing the things that you are already like proven you can do really fast and really effectively in favor of like staying on the software?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah. I love the self-awareness of that answer.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much? How much sunk cost have you sunk?
I don't know how to calculate it because it's like it's all tangled up, and like how much did it cost me to take a year off?
Like you've put 100K into dev, or like how much have you sunk into just developers?
Our lead dev makes 100K a year, and he's been with us for like 2.5, 3 years. So there's like 300K right there. Then there's also like the time me and my wife took off to like not like if you don't have a pool care company making you money, you're just like taking it out of your savings. So like maybe over $500,000 at this point, maybe more. I don't know.
So sunk cost fallacy is legit. What else? Like what's keeping you going? Are you like, okay, I can see the light. Now we have bugs worked out and traction.
I'm such a good salesman. I'm not. We think we figured out what funnel we're going to use, which is kind of what you're hinting on. Like, why don't you just do this? Like, help pool companies, and it's like that's a perfect funnel. Like anytime I tell my story around a bunch of pool guys, they're like, they instantly want to know what the software is. Like, it's not. It's The software is a business in my head that is, if I get it, think about it this way: if I just get to 500 customers, there's 85,000 pool companies in America. There's more companies all over the earth. There's a pool care market in Australia that's like 50% of what America is. I need 500 of those companies to make 150K a year or a month. I'm sorry, a month, 150K a month with me and a coder is what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a better thing to own than that.
Yeah. What's stopping you from going from 5 to 500? I mean, you've done that with pool service accounts. What's holding you back from that with the software?
Well, it's only been 2 months. And then we found, so it's really easy to sign up a pool care customer. It's hard to sign up a pool cleaning company. They're typically switching from another competitor. So our software, I have to essentially build a trust. And then I have to, they have to look at our stuff and be like, wow, this is going to make my life way easier than what I'm using. And then they have to take the switch. Like it's hard to get a customer, but then once they're with you, they're kind of just with you is what I'm going to assume.
Totally.
Yeah. Talk me through projections. Like where do you think you'll be in a year with the software biz, and where do you think you might be in 3 to 5 years?
I hope at the end of this year, I'm at 100. So it'd be 27K a month. And then at the end of 5 years, I hope I'm at 1,000. I hope I'm more than 1,000, but 1,000, I'd be pretty happy. 1,000, be 270, like almost 300K coming in every month.
You have investors, or
No.
it's all you?
It's all us. Yeah, it's all us. And who knows, we might figure out how to sell it faster. It took me 2 years to figure out my little hack in pool care, right? So, we'll see what happens when it comes to, I might figure out something with software too. Like, how do you sign people up,
Yeah. So I don't know, I'm just using really rough math here, but, I'm saying right now you're upside down on your dev cost because you've put in, let's call it $500,000 or so into the development of the software, and you've got 5 accounts right now, 2 months in. I obviously can't really value you right now. You're just getting started, but you've got the blood, sweat, and tears to this point to get you into the game. Well, let's pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just pretend things go really well, and we talk in 3 to 5 years, and you've got 1,000 customers. You're doing, let's call it 3 to 4 million of top line.
Okay.
And you have very little overhead. So
Okay.
let's say you're making 2 million of net, or on that. So you've got like a small team that's really well paid and makes your life easy because they're really high talented people that help you grow this thing and keep updating the software with latest and greatest new tools and tricks. I don't know what you're worth at that point, but it's a lot. Like, it's probably more than 10 million.
Yeah, it's probably 15 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking you're probably like at least 10 to 20 million evaluation, like somewhere in that range. So now it's paid off, right? Like you're making this lifestyle. You have no qualms about selling things, obviously, because you've built stuff up and sold them so quick. If I came to you in 3 to 5 years and I said, hey man, I can get you 15 million in the next few months for this thing, are you tempted to sell at that point? Or is this something are you trying to build the thing that's like just your forever cash cow? Or how do you think through that, like the end goal with this software business?
I think I have PTSD from selling, right? It's not as simple as people think it is. It's not this like clean cut thing. You know what I mean? People can still like not like, unless everybody I talk to sells now, I'm like, hey, make sure what you want, get that money like right away, right? Like it needs to be in one, unless there's escrow, but like you need to have that money within 3 months and it needs to all be yours. So like if I did do a deal like that, like they better pay me everything. I'm not going to work for them. I'm not going to take any of their equity, like, and roll it back into their fucking dream. Like I'm going to take all my money and I'm going to go do whatever I want. But depending on our growth, I probably would just sit on that 2 mil a year and just have it like grow itself. Like I would figure out, like, if I'm not doing anything, I'm going to operationally figure out how this thing is going to grow by itself, and I'm not going to have to do anything. And I would just let it keep growing. It's yeah, I don't think I would sell at that point. I would have to make like 100 mil to sell.
Okay, so is it a number, or is it an age, or is it another opportunity that would tempt you, or like what is the thing that would trigger if this changed, I would probably sell?
Like my wife had cancer and I had to pay for treatments, and the only way I could is if I had like 15 mil. You know what I mean? Like something like it's not. I think selling companies, I've learned a lot of really annoying lessons. Like I know how fast you can blow through $1 million. It's not that much money. Like it sounds like a lot of money to a lot of people. It is not. It's gone. You pay off your house and like buy a pool and like you have nothing left because of taxes. like it's not that much money. And I'm betting you could blow through 15 mil. So if you got a 15 mil payout and then you pay, 36% capital gains on it, then that's, leaves you with what? Like, I'm not bad. I'm not good at math. 10 mil. And then I guess, what are you going to throw that into like a high yield thing to make 100K a year, like, or 200K a year? Like, that's kind of boring. Like, why would you do that? You would want to spend it and have fun. And if you do that, then it's just going to slowly dwindle over the next 30 years and you're going to have to do something else. Like, I don't want to do anything. Like, that's not what I want to do. Like, I don't know.
Is your wife working with you in the business now?
She works for the roll-up we sold to. So she gets paid quite a lot of money. She's in charge of about 5,000 pools right now.
What?
When I tell you, we're good at operations. Like we're we're super good at operations.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, 2. Yeah,
How
2.
old are the kids?
5 and 8.
So before it was kind of like both of you had kind of burned the boats and you were both trying to build the software business.
Mm-hmm.
All money and expenses are going there. And then now she kind of pulls stable income from the staying on with them.
Yes. I'm a trad wife.
Trad wife. Does that give you like more risk tolerance or more like, okay, I can just focus on the software business if she's got a stable income over there? Or are you like, man, I wish she was still like in the trenches with me? Like,
I wish she was with me every day. She makes me so much more effective. Us as a team, it feels crippling to not have her. Not because like it's just like together we get so much shit done. It's like, it's kind of insane. You know, like we're very complementary in terms of like what we do.
Is there a milestone coming up? If we hit a certain level with the software company, I'm going to try to hire my wife back.
Yeah. Probably like $40K a month. We'll probably take her back.
Okay. I like having fun, meaningful milestones like that.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I talk about on the show a lot. Like the businesses we build should serve the life of our dreams, you know? And so like you have to think like what is the lifestyle we want as a couple for ourselves as a married couple, for our kids, and how can this business serve that? So it sounds like as you've iterated, bought and sold, you know, started and sold, you've been thinking like that for a while now, right?
Yeah. And I think there's some like moments where like, you know, like I remember one, there's a level of stress that goes away when you make a lot of money or you're making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like the difference of having 100K in your bank account compared to like, you know, 1K is like the stress is palpable. And I don't think people realize that don't have that much money. Like it'd be like if you're living in like a dark dungeon your whole life and it's musty and like, you know, kind of stressful. And then like one day somebody takes you out and you're up in a mansion above. And then like, it's like the difference is like I remember one time my son, we were on a vacation. My son got a croup attack. He had to go to the hospital. We called 911. And I remember thinking like, oh, fuck, 5K. Like, do we want to like drive him or do we want to call the ambulance? And now like, I wouldn't think about that. You know, I had I went to the hospital because I was like, had pneumonia for a while. And they said I would take 2 weeks to get a CT scan, but I was already worried about it. And I was just like, I'll pay for one out of pocket. I don't care. And I was coughing up blood like 2 days later. And if we wouldn't have that CT scan, it would have been like a lot different. And I think having money to kind of like protect your family with, that's a big one, you know, like I need enough money to protect my family. And then there's also the freedom. Like I've had a life where I am working 7 days a week and barely see my kids. And I've also had a life where I spend 3 months in Europe, not doing anything but hanging out with my kids. And I've had a life where me and my wife work literally 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, sometimes less than that. And then at lunchtime, we're like, you want to go play tennis and then go get us some lunch? And she's like, yeah. Like I've felt that it's way better.
You've lived a lot of business owner lives already, you know?
I didn't think I was interesting until I got on Twitter. And then I started, people were like, yeah, small business Twitter. That's the thing. I didn't know about that.
So we're bouncing around a lot here, but I'd be curious. There's some people that are like thinking like pool services are going to be the next roll up, right? Because HVAC and plumbing have been the hot thing for a while. And now, you know, you see people that are trying to aggregate them and like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think it's going to be like HVAC and plumbing where you can like combine a bunch of them and raise prices and like make it more efficient and then sell it to PE? Or do you think it's never going to be as like, I don't know, scalable, institutional as like big plumbing companies and things like that?
I have a theory around this about the more obscure what you do, the more PE friendly it is. Right. So like the first roll up, I think was pest control. Was that the big Terminex? Was that what kicked off the PE roll ups or was it HVAC? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Anyway, the difference between pest control and pool cleaning is a guy walks into my backyard and he could walk around with water spraying things and leave. And I wouldn't be unhappy. I would just be like, oh yeah, you know, the difference in pool care is like, you can go stand in front of your pool and see if they did a good job. You know, it turns green. It's way more like personal, I think. Same thing with HVAC. You know, you need a new water heater. Most people aren't going to do that. Like they kind of got to go with the HVAC company. It's an emergency. You got to have hot water. I think it goes like HVAC, pest control, like plumbing. And then I think below that is like lawn care, pool care, maid service. And I think these bottom three are really hard to do. And I think pool care and maid service are the hardest because lawn care companies, I was mowing grass at 10, you know, I can clean a bathroom at 10. But these things like pool care is like really complicated.
There's some technical expertise and science going on.
And if you have just one pool, like Clint, you can take care of just one pool. That's easy. But if you got to walk into, 12 different backyards, 5 days a week with 12 different equipment sets and personalities of the pool and customer service issues, like that's a hard thing, like a hard business to scale when you can't actually pay a pool cleaner what they're worth because, a lot of people perceive it as like a lawn care or maid service, So I think it's going to be really hard if they pull it off. I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
This is some interesting stuff. Who's the right person? I feel like you've learned every side of this industry because you've been on, the startup, the sale, you've talked to the people that are trying to roll up and you're doing software. I'm like, if people are listening to this and they're like, man, I haven't really thought about pool service as an entrepreneurial opportunity. Who's the right kind of person to get into this space, and what's the play for the next 5 or 10 years if they're going to who's a good target to like join this industry, and then what's some like top tips to be successful in pool service?
I think if you want, this industry is pretty unique because it's recurring. Mm-hmm. It's like really good recurring. It's actually what inspired me to get a software company. I just kind of got lucky with like recurring service type of a thing, like I've had friends that like start pressure washing and all this sort, but it's not recurring. And I think with what I know now, this is going to sound cocky, but I think if I had to, I could in 3 months essentially retire with pool clear just by like building it the right way. And have maybe like an hour of work to do every day. And I think anybody who's willing to do that over 4 or 5 years would be a good candidate. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you can set it up in a way where it's not that much work, and it's just you kind of got to know how to do it. And that might be true for every business. I don't know, but I know it's definitely true for pool gear.
It'd take 4 to 5 years to do it from scratch if they're not you. Yeah, makes sense.
So you're talking like an hour of work a day makes you how much money per year?
I think. Let's see.
If you did it if you really optimized.
If I had 300 accounts and no software company, I think you could probably pool 20, maybe 30K a month in profit and not do that much if you set it up the correct way.
And it'd be how much work a day, you think? 5
maybe
days
none,
a week?
Maybe none some days, yeah. Yeah.
But you'd have to have a crew doing the cleaning?
Yeah. Yeah, but I have actually an idea on this, on how to do it to where like you build... me and my wife used to say this all the time, like 2 is 1, 1 is none, 3 makes running the business fun. Like I think I know a way to like build the layers in enough to where like you wouldn't really ever get hit with anything. It'd be pretty rare to get hit with something.
Interesting.
Because I know things now, like how many business owners still accept checks? Like that's dumb. Like just for this business, like just put all the cards on file. How many business owners don't use overseas VAs? Like that's also dumb. Like just pay somebody $1,500 a month and then train them really, really well. There's some amazing VAs. So yeah, I think you could totally build a company that doesn't like really do like maybe even ignore growth. You know what I mean? A little bit, and just have it sustain. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it would just like feed you money in the mailbox. That's my backup plan. If you guys
Clearly.
like 3 years, I'll be like,
who's the right person to get into this? Is it someone that understands pool maintenance, or is it someone that's a good salesman, or like who's the right like?
If you want to lose weight, it's a great business for losing weight. Sales is pretty important. I don't know, dude. What's a good archetype for an entrepreneur? Like,
I always feel like sales is like speed in football or something, where it's like it's not everything, but it gets you out of a lot of jams, and it's a universal, makes you better at everything kind of thing.
I like that metaphor. That's true. That's kind of true. Yeah, that's like the whole like sales solves all problems. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you said you'd never sell a software biz, but let's say hypothetically somebody comes to you and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you, $500,000 for 20% of this, so that you can grow it faster or hire devs?
I would have to like them a lot.
Would you do it? Or
If I liked them, yeah. Yeah. If it was like I know I mess around with Cody Sanchez all the time. I think she would probably be a pretty good person to partner with, just because of her like scale and her reach.
yeah.
If I saw an opportunity where the investor could help us succeed, and I also vibed really, I know vibe is a weird word, but like if I actually got along with that investor, that would make a big difference. Like I probably shouldn't take money from Michael Girdley. Like, I mean, his personalities are like complete opposites,
Although he does say once you see the P&L for a software business, you never want to look at anything else. But
well, what's so funny is I've been trying to clean his pool for years. He won't let me. And I've talked to him a few times because he's in San Antonio too, which is like where my pool companies were. And we really never talked until I got on Twitter, like at the beginning of 2023. But like my Twitter was so different than his Twitter. But he's got a software company. He's got a pool. It seems like it would be I think we should make a podcast where me and Michael Gurley, he tries to teach me the details of business, like the more like finer points of business. And then I say things that just make him shake his head and like sigh. And he's trying to,
good content. Who are your competitors right now for software?
Skimmer and Poolbrain. Those are the two big ones.
Skimmer and what?
Poolbrain.
Poolbrain.
Okay. How many customers do they have? Like a couple thousand or?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's one thing that is very different about software than like home services is like, it's kind of a race to be in one or two names, right? Like in, HVAC, there's one or two CRM leaders, and in daycare, there's one or two CRM leaders. In accounting, there's one or two practice management, So I think that's the other thing that you have is like, it's kind of a race, right? Against those guys.
Yeah, but I don't really, it would be cool to be the leader, but at the same time, I don't care. Like I need my 1,000 accounts. That's literally $270K a month, very low overhead. That's what I want. 3 coders is $30,000. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shit ton of money. That's so much money. I wouldn't know.
This has been really interesting. I mean, I could talk to you for a while, but Clint, I don't know if you have any other questions for.
Oh, it's kind of neat, man. It's a really neat story. When did you do that last sale that was 1.15 million?
2024. Yeah.
Last year.
January 2024.
Yeah. So, I mean, really neat story here. We've got a guy that's a serial entrepreneur. He has a niche that he's figured out how to spin up and sell companies in. Gets himself out of a pinch a few times by doing that wash, rinse, repeat cycle. But he's doing that to build the dream, and the dream is to create the software company that you never want to sell. Mm-hmm. And so you're like using your business building and business sales superpower you discovered by accident almost to feed the dream, and is that a fair summary of
except ironically, it's like walking around the world. It's like trying to get somewhere and you walk around the world and you get back to the place and you're like, oh, I should have just done this with pool care. Why did I sell so many companies? Like, I don't know. So I'm kind of stuck doing the software now,
Yeah. And so, for as far as the theme of our show, Inspired or Acquired, I feel like you're definitely inspired in building the dream company is going to serve your lifestyle, but you're getting there by getting acquired on a repeat basis.
Yeah, and I'm only 34. If I had to build another pool care company, it would take me like 2 years. So
yeah, but hopefully that was your last one you had to do because hopefully you got enough runway there to get you over the hump. For those listening in, you should see his face right now.
I'm excited to see where you are by the end of this year. I think we'll know a lot if you're at 20 customers by then, if you're at 150 customers by the end of the year. So
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I wouldn't bet against you. I know that for sure. So
my accounting firm went out of business, and all of our documents from 2023, we can't get them.
Oh my gosh.
And we had capital gains that we were working through. We had a bunch of shit we were working through, and they're gone. Like we don't know how to get. We got a letter from a company that loaned them money for $100K, threatening us that they if we didn't pay the $27K we owe them, which we didn't, they might put a lien against our software company. And I'm just like, what?
That's wild.
I know. It's really annoying.
What a mess, man. Hope you figure that out. But yikes. Well, this has been super fascinating to catch up with you. We'll have to do an update later. But if people want to connect with you online, Tim, where's the best place they could do that?
Twitter, Kinsey's Pool Boy. It's very professional and not about pool care at all. I don't know. Clint, do you even follow me?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's good, man. He's a fun account to follow.
I just tweet whatever comes to my head and I don't really think about it. So
Yeah. That's the way to go.
We'll link to that in the show notes, and we'll link to your website as well. So thank you for coming on, and we're excited to see your growth with the software biz.
Cool, guys. Nice to meet you.